Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting edition of KD Live with me, Dwayne Raines, VP of Sales for Key Digital, and my buddy Jonathan Ferry, our VP of Product Education and Experience. Jonathan, welcome to another episode here, sir.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a good one, and man, we're not tired of each other yet, huh? Spending a week together in Barcelona for ISE.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm about back to normal on my sleeping habits now because the the time difference is a little bit crazy. But yeah, we've got an exciting KD Live. Some of you out there may know we've got a few of our what we call Gen 2 products. Some of them have the Dash 2 at the end. We're going to go over all the features today that have been added to these, what's different, and all of that. So, Jonathan, I'm gonna let you take it away, and then I'll hang on.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. We, some of these products were in fact introduced at the ISE Integrated Systems Europe trade show. So, people are familiar with the products and they say, okay, I see this is the new generation. Well, what's new with Gen 2? I'm going to tell you. So what are some of those new products we've introduced? New single gang wall plate, KD XWPS, single gang wall plate sold as a kit. New 8-button control keypad, KD WP8-2.
Both are very, very popular, these single gang wall plate products. Very excited about both of them.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll go into some of the more details on what make those unique from the previous generation. The Fixer, new Fixer, Fix 418A-2, two new switchers, 2x1 and 4x1, S2x1X-2, S4x1X-2, and a new 4x4 matrix, KD-MS 4x4G-2. So let's start off with the 8-button control keypad. Well, KDWP8, wall plate, 8 buttons. The first gen product had IP control only. So on the rear, you only had an IP port, which is cool because it gets its power over PoE, and all it has to do is plug into the network and it can send all the IP control commands. Well, now the new generation product has a built-in Phoenix connector, 4-pin Phoenix connector, where we have the IR and the RS-232. So now you can control one IR device, one RS-232 device.
Jonathan,
natively.
I think we misnamed this product. We should have called it the KDWP8 Plus 2 because we added 2 ports onto it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So yeah, you're +2 for that joke there, Dwayne.
The dad jokes just keep on rolling.
So built-in IR RS-232 port. So, how does this look for you? Well, if you're just controlling devices over the network, all over IP, what are some traditional devices for this? Your projectors, especially those that support PJ-Link control. PJ-Link, a generic projector control protocol, and some brands like NEC have even been really smart and adapted that control over IP into their flat panel displays. Of course, presentation switchers and matrixing and other video switching and routing devices, audio DSP, lighting and shade control systems. These are all very commonly controlled over IP. But what about like in the huddle space where you maybe have a display that maybe is consumer IR control there and an amplifier RS-232 control there? Now you could do that natively from the WP8-2. Well, what if you have more devices that you need to control over IR RS-232? Then you expand the system and you could use any of our qualifying control products. Those are traditionally the MC1000. That's a 6 multifunction port plus a dedicated RS port plus a dedicated 3-pin relay. Our CX800 control expander, CX800, which is a 3 Phoenix port controller. Okay, IR, RS-232, and voltage triggering there. It's also a smaller form factor, which is quite nice, especially if you're going to put this at the location of the devices you're trying to control. It even has a built-in 2-port switch, so if you only have a single cat wire, you could break out control here and still connect any other peripheral devices there on the network if needed. And then
and and X800, you may have mentioned it. I apologize if I missed it. Is obviously PoE power capable too, so you can have it on the network and not have to run a wall wart or anything like that.
Yeah, great point. Great point. I did not say that, so good catch there. IP 822, 922, and 1022. These are our 4K AV over IP products. Now, what are we saying here with these, you know, AV over IP? The point being that these 4K AV over IP products are controllers in themselves. So there are applications that you have AV over IP routing, distribution, etc. And in your various zones, various rooms, you may have the need for a simple 8-button control keypad. And this WP8-2, it can speak to any of these encoders or decoders and tell it to execute an IR burst, an RS-232 string, or a voltage trigger out of that encoder or decoder. So you can control the display. So you can maybe drop the projector screen or control any devices there. And so,
and Jonathan, it can also, with the WP8-2, and we've had several of our end users do this. They control a full AV over IP system with that because they don't want, and maybe they have more than one WP8. Maybe they have two because they need 16 buttons. But easy, just put another one in, and they can fully control video routing and everything else along with the IR and RS-232 we're talking about.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it's not just controlling the peripherals. You could even send commands to any encoder decoder to control that routing, the AV over IP system. And it's all programmed here in the web UI. We have a full, really detailed programming guide available on the website, on the page, the product page for the WP8-2. So you can see exactly how that goes, whether you're sending a IP command, IR, RS-232 command, how that looks, what are the supported formats, and things like that. So moving on to the other wall plate, single gang, WPS as it were, X, this one being an extender. This is an HDMI and USB-C 2x1 switch, 2x1 switcher transmitter receiver set. It includes, the XWPS includes the transmitter and the receiver. Really, really nice. Just like with the 8-button control keypad, you don't have to get any power supplies over to this transmitter unit, the wall plate unit, because it is powered by the RX unit. You got a switching button right there where it says input select, or if you press and hold that button, it will illuminate, have a fill of blue coloring, LED backlighting there on that input select. And now you're in auto switching mode. Supports 4K resolution, signals up to 18 gigabits per second. And this one goes even further than the previous generation product. This one goes 50 meters, AKA 164 feet. And we even see here how you could, you know, if you want to control a display or projector, there is an IR sensor that's built in on that plate, kind of, you know, taking residence in that lower section there. And so, you know, no loss there for how we're building it in. Yet at the same time, people really say they like our plates compared to our competitors. Some of the competitors are doing things like putting Phoenix plugs on the, you know, customer facing part of the plate, and just doesn't really seem like something customer wants or needs to see there.
Yeah, it's a nice clean look. And also another thing that these plates are being used for is as inputs into an AV over IP system. So our encoders in our AV over IP may sit in the equipment rack, so you can just simply input either HDMI or USB-C, and then out of the receiver go right into that encoder, and it gives you a wall plate input into an AV over IP system. We've seen that very popular. And what's different between this and the previous version? The previous version, you bought the wall plate separate from the receiver. That's one of the differences. This is now a kit. Hence, we always, matter of fact, you see the wrong label there on the KD EXWPSTX from the old version. which was what you bought separately, which I guess we still call it that, but now it's just the XWPS because X means kit in our nomenclature there. So anyway,
Yeah. That's right. That's right. I forgot. I was looking. I'm like, oh, did I use the old graphic? No, that is still what we're calling the transmitter, but the kit itself, XWPS. Yeah.
But it should have a 2 on there.
-2. Okay, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain here, ladies and gentlemen. Moving right along, we'll sweep that under the rug. KDMS 4x4G-2 HDMI matrix. Okay, and hey, matrix switchers, absolutely Key Digital's bread and butter product category for over 23 years of being a company. Now, what's nice about this product, so it's 4x4 matrix switch for those simple, small size matrixing applications. What's new here is that now we're making the installer's life job even easier by configuring the unit via USB on the front of the chassis. And this is something we've been trying to build in on all the products slowly but surely. You connect your USB cable, you open up the Key Digital Management Software Pro, KDMS Pro, and there's a variety of settings you can apply. The IP address, your HDMI handshaking, your system naming and input-output naming. In case you even did have multiple matrices on the same network, you could apply a name for the system device. And so this really leads to a user-friendly web UI and Key Digital app, because what happens is this is another new feature, web UI, password protected UI. So, not just anybody could go in and access this, where you do have the ability to route video and audio together, or just control the audio video on the HDMI port or external audio ports. So you have independent audio and video routing capabilities through the MS4x4G-2, which was also a feature of the previous generation. But I should mention that on this product, the digital audio port is a Toslink optical connector. And so this is more and more something just, keeping up with the trends of those sound bars being utilized in applications. For example, here we see a typical residential situation where you have display and a sound bar in each room. And here we would most likely utilize video and audio routed together, right? The HDMI AV and the audio, the external optical audio to feed the sound bar. However, what about a ballroom type situation? A ballroom, a room combined type system. Here we see, for example, utilizing the audio de-embed ports, analog this time, feeding into a mixer and more or less using those audio de-embed ports as a de-embed of the incoming signal, because when we control the HDMI, we're only sending the commands for controlling the HDMI, not for routing the audio de-embed ports. And you get to see it here with the variety of Key Digital products that, whether it be with our free Key Digital app or with Compass Control Pro, we have the software or the web UI. We have the software options at the price that you may, that meets the price for your application. And some applications, like I was speaking with somebody just this past week, had a house of worship install, and they were actually just using these front buttons to control the audio. And so there is a mode you could set through the Key Digital Management software, or of course, through line string command, where you could specify, oh, when I push the button, it's going to be HDMI audio plus the de-embed ports, or is it going to be HDMI AV only, or is it going to be audio only? And so that's quite useful. And not to neglect the free Key Digital app, iOS app that we offer here as well, for our 4x4 and our 8x8 matrices. And then again, this just shows you, like, okay, you don't call these input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see the actual friendly names for this, and you can create presets as well. The user creates presets in their iOS device. So that is something that is unique. That's not parsed from the matrix itself. The preset is individual per user per iOS device. So that is the Matrix, and then we have the
Very,
S.
very, very feature rich on that, and controllable in so many ways.
Isn't it? I mean, it's just amazing, and, an amazing price point. Also, I know we've offered these at, and yeah, it's a really nice part, really nice part. We've put a lot of thought in and effort into designing a really good product for you all out there. Now we have just our Slim series, KDS 2x1X-2, KDS 4x1X-2. And why I say just our Slim series, because these things, you know, we're not false advertising here. These Slim series products, quite small here. You could see the 4x1 model is approximately the same size as an iPhone 11 Pro Max. I know that's going back a few generations now. Maybe I need to update the which iPhone we reference here. And of course, the S 2x1X-2 is even smaller than that. But one thing we heard at ISE, right, Dwayne, is like people pick up these products and they almost think it's going to be like so lightweight. They almost get caught off guard there that this is a high quality product.
Yeah, they're built right, built sturdy. And you know, the thing we've added here is that control via RS-232 on the front. Previously, that was just a service port. And Jonathan, you can talk about this. We had an actual project where our engineers were able to go in and reconfigure on the previous version that RS-232 port to be not just a service port, but that you could actually trigger it. And here you got the drawing with the bright sign. I'll let you talk about that. But that now is standard on the new Dash 2 versions.
Yeah, absolutely, Dwayne. It's actually utilizing the exact same RS-232 commands that we've done for our switches and our matrices for 13, 14 years now. So if you've already ever controlled a key digital switch or matrix, nothing's going to change. It's just kind of unique that it's on this micro USB port. And so, you know, yes, it is unique. So we include this 6-foot USB micro to TRS accessory cable in the box. And yeah, we just figured, hey, we're rolling out hundreds and hundreds of these specialized digital signage applications where there's a signage player at each display, but they also need to switch over to another source as a 2x1, I believe they're doing for most of these 2x1. And so the signage player itself runs that program, executes those commands at specific point in time, triggering the or queuing invoking the switch to move over.
Because signage players basically are just small computers, you know, and so they can send commands easily within their software, and that's what they're doing. And it triggers at the time that they want to go to another input, and then back when it's time to bring it back to the signage content. Very
Exactly.
to do, and we were able to make that happen. And now it opens up a lot of possibilities for controlling this, not just via a signage player, but via a computer, or just sending a command over, you know, over that TRS output of any device you have, if it's capable.
Yes, sir. These products, though, like we said, very feature rich. We're not substituting metal for plastic or anything to make these slim and at a great price point to the marketplace as well. So one of these rich features, audio de-embedding, not once, but twice. Analog and digital audio de-embedding. Again, digital being optical now on that connector. Nice integration into sound bars or analog audio systems as well. Heated handshaking control with 16 different options. So again, at Key Digital, we never ever sacrifice what makes these products work, because we hardly live in the realm of short cabling, one-to-one connectivity. You know, you need things like this forced hot plug detection that turn it on and the source and display are going to think they're always constantly connected to an HDMI source or display, and really just makes that signal sync happen that much faster and resolves a lot of issues that people might encounter in the field. And speaking of resolving issues that people might encounter in the field. The fix for those problems, KD Fix 418A-2 HDMI connectivity fixer. You guys are probably familiar now. We've done these various fix models for a number of generations, and you know, you always need to update something like this as the HDMI spec evolves, as what is the popular thing happening and trend happening evolves, and custom pro AV and even consumer AV, high-end consumer AV. There's going to be new issues because of, you know, just the realm of digital video and people needing to do things beyond one-to-one connectivity. So the Fix 418A-2 has evolved. Now we have 4K to 1080p down convert. Very nice feature here. So we're looking at the top application diagram, and we could see here that, oh, just give me once. Why is it not doing it? Okay, well, we could see here that, you know, the user has purchased 3 new 4K displays, yet they do have one projector that's 1080p. We all know how expensive it could be to replace a 1080p projector for 4K, especially a large venue projector. That doesn't mean that projector can't be part of the updated AV system with the Fix 418A-2's 4K to 1080p down conversion option. All you got to do is take this, take this here slide switch, 4K to 1080p, move it to the on position, and now 4K comes in, 1080p goes out. We also have the forced HPD and the EDID control tools on the long sides of the units. Of course,
are very, very small, as you can see. You can see the size of the connector for an HDMI. I mean, it's a really small piece, and it fixes a lot of things, hence the name. And Jonathan's going to talk about that, and I'll shut up.
And the other great feature that's always useful, right, is this audio de-embedding, where you have sources now that maybe don't even have a digital audio port or analog audio. So we take the, or I guess this image does, should have grabbed an updated image of the Apple TV. Let me just cover that up. Take the HDMI from it, feed and strip out the audio, either as analog or digital, feed an audio system, while still, a common question, hey, if I do audio de-embedding, do I still have audio on the HDMI port? The answer is yes.
Yeah, we get that question almost every day.
Or, you know, just a solution to make your long HDMI cabling more reliable. We can boost the incoming signal. If you're going to long HDMI cable, put this in between the source and that long HDMI cable. Or if you need to repair because maybe the signal just, you know, isn't making it all the way to the display, you can place this Fix 418A-2 somewhere in the middle there, because it'll take those ones and zeros that are not really perfect ones and zeros any longer and restore them into ones and zeros. That's what we call signal, TMDS signal reclocking.
And a good example, you can actually take our 328-foot or 100-meter fiber HDMI cable, take two of them, put this in the middle, and go 200 meters or 600. Anyway, you
wow,
600 feet. So it'll allow you to do that as well.
That's right. That's right. Yep. So so very good, Dwayne. I appreciate you joining me today. Anything you'd like to close off this episode of KD Live with?
No, just we're excited about these new products. Check them out at keydigital.com. If you have any questions, reach out to sales@keydigital.com. If you have tech support questions, reach out to tech@keydigital.com. And we just look forward to these products becoming more and more useful for you to solve your problems, to fix your issues. And we're just really excited about them. And our engineers have done a fantastic job, both our product engineers and our software engineers. And, you know, so we're excited about these products that are really rock solid. So just reach out to us, and that'll wrap up another exciting edition of KD Live with Johnny and Dee. And we thank you for your time. So John, I'll let you close it out on your side.